Okay, we're back with the review for Algebra 2, Chapter 4. And this is page 2, starting with problem 4, my example for that one. And you can see that in this case, I'm doing a different function than you are. So you'll watch this example and then do your own. And we're going to start by graphing this thing here. And the way you're going to do that is to type on your y equals line 6 divided by x minus 1 plus 4, if you're following along with my example. And once you've done that, you hit second table, and you can get these points here to plot all the way along until you get this whole curve defined. Or else you can hit graph and then the trace key, and you can trace those. Now, if you see that you've moved this thing one to the right, you can tell that the vertical asymptote is going to be right there. Originally, this would have been at the origin down here, but that intersection. The horizontal asymptote moves 4 up, and so you can see that I've got that horizontal asymptote cutting through there, and its equation is y equals 4. Since the graph itself is avoiding those two locations, in other words, x value of 1, we know that the domain is going to be any x except for x equals 1. And then in the vertical direction, the range direction, you can see that it's avoiding that horizontal asymptote when you say that y is not equal to 4, but actually is equal to everything below 4 and above 4. And that does it for problem number 4. Okay, problem number 5 asks for a kind of a laundry list of stuff here. So we're going to, first of all, start by graphing it. So if you type in the function, and this is my version, not yours, you'll see that you'll be able to generate a table of values. If you go second, table settings, and I would start mine in this case over here at -8, and then go through and generate all these points on the table, or else use the trace function after you've graphed it, and you're going to get this thing going down like this. Now, when you hit 4, you'll see that it blanks out on you. That's what it looks like. There's no y value associated with that. That's a hole that we'll see later. Now, I took the time down here to factor this. And once it's factored, you can see that I've got this repeat factor that would have canceled off. That's the hole. So you know that 4 to the right, somewhere in that direction, there's a hole. Now, the only way to get this is to say trace, the height, and then cheat a little bit left or right, go 3.99 or maybe 4.01, and you'll figure out how high up to make that little circle there. The numbers that zero this top out are called the zeros, but there are none because the only one that would do it is already taken up as a whole. On the bottom, the ones that zero that out give you the vertical asymptotes. And so if you set this equal to 0, you'll get 1/2, and that's where I get that vertical asymptote right here at x equals 1/2. The other side of it, though, is already taken up as a whole, so you don't see a vertical asymptote over here. Now, to find the horizontal asymptote up here, you compare these degrees. This is quadratic down here because you can see there's an x squared, and this one up here is linear. It's just got an x. Anytime you have a bigger degree on the bottom than the top, you get this automatic answer for the horizontal asymptote. That's another name for the x-axis, y equals 0. So you got all the things checked off. You got your horizontal and vertical asymptotes. You got your whole zeros and y-intercepts, and you've graphed the function. And that'll do it for problem number 5. There's actually quite a bit of work on that problem.